Usually you drop the engine into the car, right? But we're actually going to drop the car on the engine. Does that make for the weight loss? I was able to install my very first clutch. Just learning, right? This is an all new experience for me. Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt and you are in the middle of it if you just clicked on this video. This is like the third video of replacing the engine in my FoxBody Convertible over here. You can see Matt and Della are already working hard. They've been at work like, I don't know, 45 minutes already. Me, I've been kind of doing my thing, goofing off over here like I normally do, but actually I have something to show you guys. I said in one of the last videos I needed a new clutch fan, and check it out, guys. You can see here on the old fan, you can see those cracks right through there, so it probably wasn't gonna last too long. Who knows, it may have. But then I remembered I was gonna go ahead, I tried to buy a new one, I mentioned this in the video. Then I remembered I have another car right over there that I took one out of. So I went ahead, checked that, turns out the fan blade itself is in really good shape. You guys can see this here. Now the clutch in the middle was not in so good shape, but mine over here was. So I already swapped that out, so that's pretty cool, good to go. But anyway, what we are doing today, we're gonna go ahead, finish assembling the motor. You can see Adele's putting the accessories on right now. I've got some time-lapse footage of that. I'll throw that in here real quick. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We got the transmission ready to go on. I need to get to work and start helping them. But today we think we will be able to go ahead and put the engine in the car, get it started, get going. That's pretty cool. The big thing that stopped us last time, in case you didn't see that, was the flywheel. We had, like I mentioned in the last upload, we had an NOS flywheel that we were gonna use. Unfortunately, it was not the right part, right? So it was just labeled wrong or something like that, like I explained last time. But anyway, we do have one now. Actually, I do want to show you. So we got the flywheel now. We got the right flywheel. This was the thing that stopped us last week. This is the next week for me, by the way. It's been a whole week since the last video. And for you guys, I think it's only like 4 days later. But anyway, we also got a new starter. My starter was working, but occasionally would have a little bit of a problem. So this is a Ford remanufactured starter. Pretty cool. Lots of new parts. More parts over here, parts everywhere. But yeah, we're gonna assemble the engine, drop the car. Usually you drop the engine into the car, right? But we're actually gonna drop the car on the engine. But yeah, get busy. So again, they're already working over there. I need to join them. Not a lot of how-tos. We're not doing this as how-tos. I just wanna get this car running. I've owned this car, in case you don't know. Whoa, almost fell. I've owned this car 16 years and it has really never been right. So we're gonna make it right today. I'm really excited. Enough talking. I'm gonna go ahead, help them out. This should be a fun one, guys. All right, guys, interrupting this time lapse. I realized I did not show you the front of the flywheel, which is pretty cool, and we're not gonna see it because I'm about to install it. This is what the front looks like. As you saw in the time lapse there, Matt was showing me, oh, it's really hard to do with one hand. Stay there. Matt was showing me how to install these dowel pins, and it did line up with our clutch plate. Got the clutch plate right over there, as you can see. So these are installed, I just hammered those in. It's time for the flywheel now. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the time lapse because we're going right back to it. All right, we got the flywheel on. Della was actually holding counterforce on the crankshaft pulley, and we got it in there. We're good to go. Time for the pilot bearing now.
This is something that a lot of people have trouble with because usually to get it out, you need a special puller and adapter to go in there, and It's like claws that go in and the spread, and then you can use a slide hammer to pop it out. Well, I got a different way to do this. Sometimes it works out great, sometimes not so great. And what I mean by that is this is a pilot bearing assembly. And I say assembly because it's not just the pilot bearing. So you got the pilot bearing, which is this inner smaller circle that has those little roller bearings in there. And this is a pilot bearing bushing. It usually comes in an assembly like this, and then you install it into the end of the crankshaft. Getting the old one out without that special tool is actually pretty easy if you know how to do it. And I'm gonna show a real easy way to do it. You can actually use the clutch alignment tool you get with any clutch kit to do it, and we just need some grease. And we're basically gonna use this as a hydraulic piston and use hydraulic pressure to push it out. The only time I may have an issue is sometimes instead of pushing the whole bushing out, sometimes it'll push just the bearing out, and then I'll have to go in there with my tool to pop the bushing out. But sometimes they come out together, so we're gonna try to do it together here. So to do that, we just simply use basic hydraulic pressure. So I'm just gonna take wheel bearing grease, and we are just gonna shove it in there. We're gonna fill that with grease as much as we can get in there.
Oh yeah, so some people use bread before.
Yeah, so you can use bread, anything that just is not, that you can get enough in there that it won't compress anymore. Then it will convert the force that you're using, the hammer, the tool, or whatever you're using you want to counter force to be able to push the bearing out. We're gonna fill this up. Let's not get too much grease on the flywheel surface there.
Looks like Jelly already got red Loctite on the flywheel surface.
How dare you? This right here, this is wheel bearing grease.
What you pack the bearings with, like on the
front wheel bearings, okay. Right? Exactly. So
it's a clutch alignment tool, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of squishy. That's kind of bouncing out. Tells me I got some air trapped in there. There it is.
Oh, I heard it come out.
Yeah. So now that I got the air out, we want to try to get some more grease in there. The key is, again, no air, because air will compress. The grease will not compress. It will actually transfer all that force back out to the bearing. The grease is fine because it's not, you can clean off the flywheel before we put the clutch back on. Nothing wrong with greasing a bearing. Okay, so now, maybe this will splash on the gear head over there. So I'm just gonna use my plastic tool. Did that. I think we're just working some of the air out still. Oh, the bushing's coming out. It's coming out correctly. Look at that. I'm gonna try to clean some of this grease off.
Yeah, I can see it.
See that bushing's coming out now? Mm-hmm. And the only thing you need is wheel bearing grease, a hammer, and then the free clutch alignment tool that comes with every clutch kit.
Cool.
There we go. And that's all it takes. Wow, no special tools or anything, just a little plastic clutch alignment tool, some grease, and a hammer, and it's out.
So ready to install the new bearing?
Yep, so I actually have a Ford pilot bearing installation tool here. This was engineered by Ford, so it sets at the correct depth. It's pretty simple. It just goes onto there, and then you hammer it into the end of the crankshaft until it stops.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. All right, let me try it.
There you go, you installed.
Sweet! Okay, and just like that, we stopped some time lapse, but guys, we got a lot done. Now, I did want to highlight the pilot bearing install because that's something that you guys might be interested in, and Matt had that unusual technique that we saw, or at least it was new to me. Anyway, though, I do want to show you where we're at right now. As you saw in the time lapse, Della buttoned up all the front. and I was able to install my very first clutch. Clutch is installed. I'd never done that before. In case this is the first time you're watching any of my videos, I'm actually just learning, right? This is an all new experience for me. Pretty cool though. I'm excited to learn. Luckily, Matt's helping me learn, and yeah, so I'm getting to do this stuff for the first time. So that was cool. Bell housing's on. I've got a QuickTime bell housing, by the way. This is a solid bell housing, actually very expensive, but anyway, I got it for the T56, and the clutch is installed. So you know what this means, guys? It's transmission time. Once we get the transmission in and we hook up the H-pipe, we're kind of ready to go. I do have that new starter like I showed you guys at the beginning, but yeah, it's just about assembled, ready to go in the car. Pretty exciting. So we're gonna keep going, keep plugging away. Let's see if we can get it done. We got the transmission in now. Matt was getting the starter on. That was a little hard to show you guys on film, but you're probably wondering where I'm at. Look, we got Tiffany on the channel today. She hooked me up. It's time for a lunch break. Yeah, Jersey Mike's. I don't know if does that make for the weight loss?
Yes.
I was talking about for me, but anyway, almost wrapped up with assembling the engine, and now I'm gonna eat. Time to eat. In the time lapse, as you saw, or I think I already said this, but we did finish the transmission install. We're just about done. Tiff's here, obviously. I saw her eating that sandwich, and I ate the sandwich. It was good too. But yeah, so what we're gonna do, it's time to move on to the H-pipe. I did get new O2 sensors like I highlighted last time, so I'm just gonna take these off. Also, we now have oil in the engine, and Matt got the starter hooked up. In case you wanna see what happened there, we actually made a separate video on that because you can shim the starters. Who knew? You can shim Ford starters just like you can GM. That's gonna be another video. We're gonna cover that. But yeah, right now, back to time lapse. Got to get the H-pipe on, new O2 sensors. Then we're pretty much ready. We're gonna be dropping the car down on the engine. Not too long, so let me jump back to it. Okay, H-pipe's on. We went ahead, Della and Tiffany were awesome, and we had tape over here, and I used the wrong kind of tape, so they got all the sticky stuff up. And what are we ready to do? What are we doing, Matt? What are we doing here?
I think we're gonna put a car on it.
We're gonna drop the car on it. That's right. We're gonna stick the engine right here. We'll find out just how strong these. No, just kidding. It's time, guys. It's time. This engine. Okay, remember transmission all bolted up. Going into the car. Let's watch it happen right now. We're almost there. All right, guys, I am actually bolting my K-member down. The engine, we got it lined up. You know, it's dropped all the way in. I guess the car's dropped on the engine, so let me, you guys won't be able to see much, but it's kind of a neat moment for me. Make sure I got the right socket. That helps. Going the right way. Let's see what I can do. Okay, it's on now. Last one. And we'll raise it up and torque them down, but I just put my engine in, kind of, sort of. As you can see, the engine is in. That's why you clicked on this video. It's in the car. Tilted a little bit back right now. The reason why it's tilted back is because obviously the transmission's still not, the cross member, still got to bolt that up, but pretty exciting, pretty exciting. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end this one here. For you guys, for me, I got a lot more work to do. So look for the first fire on the next video. Should be just buttoning it all up. You see, I still got to put the upper intake in, all that. Anyway, that's it for this one. I know I'm gonna make some of you guys mad, but I gotta end it. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe. How else are you gonna see this? How else are you gonna see this car running if you don't subscribe? And yeah, I'm pretty excited. Anyway, we'll see you here next time on Gearhead 704. More gas, more gas. Replacing in, already starting today. Replace, okay, let me try again. I think Tiffany buzzed me too. Yeah, she did. This is the next week. All right, we got the flywall on. Flywall, I said that in the bloopers last time. And that's what happened, Matt, it flew away. That's why we didn't have it. Yeah, so let me try that again. It's all pretty much cleaned up.
Oh no, you're
what happened?
draining fluid.
Oh.
Kinda.
We sprung a leak. Oh, look at that. We got dogs. We got Doe, we got Tiff. We got a broke glove. Hey, first time in a while, broke glove. No blood today. No blood today, sorry.
We have a car that has an engine in it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're just gonna admire this here. We're not really, if you've seen this in bloopers, we're not really ever gonna fire it, you know, just kidding.